Breaking news tops the noon hour as troopers send out a statewide Amber Alert. What we've learned about the search.
And this week we are starting off a little bit cold. We have below average temperatures for the next few days. I'll let you know when we warm up.
Plus, this is coming in new at noon. A retrial is underway for a former Pasco police officer charged with murder. Hi, everyone. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we start with a developing story. This is out of Medical Lake, and we do want to warn you some of the details may be very difficult to hear, as it does include violence against a minor. Spokane County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a suspected murder and attempted suicide involving siblings in Medical Lake. According to the sheriff's office, a juvenile female was found injured in the middle of North Prentice Street just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. She was taken to the hospital but ended up dying of her injuries. Witnesses and family told deputies that she had been outside with her adult brother when they heard the sound of either a gunshot or a vehicle backfiring before the suspect drove away. About 20 minutes later, a caller reported that they had found his car about a half a mile away. When deputies arrived, they said the man was slumped over and appeared to have a pistol in his hand. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Deputies said this appears to be a murder and attempted suicide. Right now, the investigation is underway. We have breaking news happening in Washington, where a statewide Amber Alert has been issued for a 14-year-old girl. Troopers say she was abducted from the Tri-Cities area. Her name is Emma Laudal. Here's her photo. She is 5'1", about 115 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen Friday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the Pasco area. Emma is believed to be with a 35-year-old Roger Perez Osorio. He may be driving a blue four-door 2006 Honda Civic with Oregon plates that read CK05169. If you know anything, you're asked to call 911 immediately. All right, just a few minutes past noon right now, and it's a little bit gray, a little sunny out there. Nicole Hernandez is outside in the KREM 2 Weather Center. And Nicole, what do you know?
Okay, so what I know is that it's pretty cold outside right now, but the sun is shining. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be out. This morning when I left my house, I was freezing. I was hating myself for only bringing this little coat. But now it's actually okay. We're doing good. Right now, we've got a live look out over Silverwood. You can see that sun really shining here all the way through Idaho. That's kind of going to be what we see for the next few days, is a lot of good sunshine, but also cold temperatures. It's going to be a solid combination of the two. Right now, we're already to 35 degrees here in the Spokane area. That's already actually warmer than we were expecting to be by some models. Some models thought we were just barely going to reach that freezing point today, so things are looking better than we were expecting today already, which is good. And we still, of course, have a few more hours of sunshine. Across the region, we're pretty much mid-30s everywhere. Sandpoint, the coolest right now at 32 degrees with some cloud cover there. As we look forward to the rest of the afternoon, likely going to be warming up a good amount now. You can see potentially 38 degrees, which is, again, significantly warmer than we initially thought we were going to reach today. Hopefully, we stick that way because I personally like it either way, cold or a little bit warmer. We end up nice and clear for the next few days as well. Coming up, I'll let you know when we see our next chance of potential moisture in maybe snow, maybe rain form. We'll see.
A retrial is underway for a former Pasco police officer accused of murder. Richard Aguirre is charged with first-degree murder in the death of 27-year-old Ruby Doss. She was found strangled to death back in 1986. In 2015, a forensic scientist said DNA from the murder scene matched Aguirre. He stood trial for the murder in 2021, but the jury failed to reach a unanimous verdict. Aguirre waived his right to a jury in the retrial, meaning a judge will now rule in the case. Also this afternoon, the man accused of killing a family of 4 in Kellogg is expected back in court. Prosecutors say 31-year-old Major John Kaler admitted to shooting and killing his 4 neighbors in June. He also accused the oldest son in that family of lewd conduct in front of Kaler's young children. He is scheduled to be in court at 2:45 this afternoon for a pretrial hearing. This allows the judge to check in with both sides to make sure they are ready to go to trial, which is scheduled to begin in January. Now, if convicted, he faces a maximum of life in prison. Deputies are investigating after a body was discovered by a group of hunters in North Idaho yesterday. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office reporting the group called it in just after 9:30 yesterday morning in the Twin Lakes area. Deputies say the remains may have been there for several months. Investigators have not yet released the identity or cause of death. Hamas is expected to free more hostages from Gaza today. The development comes after officials announced just a few hours ago that Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend a ceasefire agreement. Ian Lee has the very latest on the hostages who have already been released over the past few days.
More emotional homecomings like this are expected today, with Hamas set to release additional hostages from Gaza.
Welcome.
Qatari officials say the ceasefire will be extended by 2 more days, something U.S. officials had pushed for.
We're going to keep working at this hour by hour, and we certainly have every hope that Hamas will be able to come up with more hostages in coming days to allow that pause to continue and allow more people to get out.
Over the weekend, militants freed dozens of Israelis and other nationals. 9-year-old Emily Hand reunited with her father after 50 days in captivity. Hamas also released 4-year-old American Abigail Moridan, whose parents were killed in the October 7th attacks.
I don't know if she knows that she had no more father and mother.
Israel says for every 10 hostages freed, it'll extend the pause in fighting by a day. In the West Bank Sunday, Khalil Zamareh received a hero's homecoming after being freed from an Israeli jail. More than 100 Palestinian prisoners have been released as part of the agreement between Israel and Hamas. While in devastated Gaza, more trucks delivered critically needed aid.
What we need is a long-term ceasefire so that we can serve people across Gaza in the north and in the south.
The UN warns if more aid isn't delivered, the territory faces famine. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
A Vermont man accused of shooting 3 men of Palestinian descent over the weekend made his first court appearance. Jason Eaton pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempted murder in the 2nd degree. He is being held without bail. Police say Eaton shot the 3 men on Saturday night as they were walking down the street. All 3 men are in the hospital. 2 are in stable condition. However, the 3rd man has more serious injuries. Police are still investigating if this was a hate crime. And today brings the first of several events this week to honor the life of former First Lady Rosalyn Carter. This morning, people lined the route as a motorcade transferred her remains to the Rosalyn Carter Health and Human Sciences Complex. Once there, several wreaths were laid in her honor. The motorcade then continued on to the Carter Presidential Library. There are some private services scheduled at the library this afternoon, and then the public will be invited to pay their respects later tonight. A private memorial service will be held tomorrow with a private funeral service coming up on Wednesday.